Fight for governor taking center stage in Fort Pierce as the clock winds down to election night.
Ron DeSantis and Charlie Crist squared off in their one and only debate, and the gloves were off. Local 10's Glenna Milberg was there. She joins us live with the fireworks. Glenna.
The gloves were off. There were some really bruising moments. Charlie Crist went on the offensive. Ron DeSantis never did get defensive. The two really gave voters a very clear choice, and in front of an audience that was literally uncontrollable, it did get personal. A partisan audience uncontrollable. Charlie Crist went rogue with a question.
Yes or no, Ron? Will you serve a full 4-year term if you're reelected governor of Florida? It's not a tough question. It's a fair question. He won't tell you.
Governor Ron DeSantis didn't budge and then got personal.
And I know that Charlie's interested in talking about 2024 and Joe Biden, but I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist.
Questions covered the state's biggest issues, rising costs.
Charlie Crist has voted with Joe Biden 100% of the time to give us these inflationary policies.
Since you've been governor, every utility rate increase has been granted for Florida Power and Light, Duke Power, TECO, you name them.
And one of the most contentious issues, the state's recent abortion restrictions and what may be to come.
I'm proud of the 15 weeks that we did, and he supports taxpayer funding of
That's
abortion
time, Governor.
all the way up until the moment of birth, and that is wrong.
Congressman, you have 60 seconds.
Ron, that's just not the truth, and you know it. You know it. He wouldn't answer your question. Do you want to ban abortion completely? He never got to it.
The Florida paid migrant flights from the border to Martha's Vineyard.
You're willing to use people like that, in this case they were Hispanics, Venezuelan in particular, and have them as props for your political gain?
You say you're for the secure border, but this is all happening under the Biden administration and the policies that Charlie Crist supports.
At the end, that uncontrolled audience launching insults.
I led based on facts, not based.
There was no controlling that audience at all. There was one thing, the last question, that the two candidates actually do agree on. The question was about life in prison instead of the death penalty for the Marjory Stoneman Douglas mass shooter. Both DeSantis and Crist said they would have preferred. They thought the death penalty would be much more appropriate. And even the governor said he will ask lawmakers to go and change the law so that sentencing in death penalty cases does not have to be a unanimous jury recommendation. I'm Glenna Milberg, live in Fort Pierce tonight, Local 10 News.